The Name of the Rose, published in 1980, is a historical mystery novel by Umberto Eco that blends detective fiction, medieval philosophy, theology, semiotics, and political intrigue. Set in a 14th-century Italian monastery, the novel is both an intellectual puzzle and a suspenseful murder mystery. At its core, the book explores truth, interpretation, faith, power, censorship, and the dangerous relationship between knowledge and authority. A manuscript from the past. The story is presented as a discovered manuscript written by Adso of Melk, who recounts events from his youth. As a novice monk, Adso accompanies his mentor, William of Baskerville, to a remote Benedictine abbey in northern Italy in the year 1327. William is a former inquisitor known for his sharp intellect, rational thinking, and skepticism. He has been invited to the abbey to take part in an important theological debate between different factions of the church. However, upon arrival, the abbey is already troubled by a mysterious death. The first death. A young monk has been found dead under suspicious circumstances. The abbot asks William to quietly investigate the matter before the upcoming debate begins, fearing scandal. William approaches the case using logic, observation, and deduction, methods inspired by early scientific reasoning rather than blind faith. His investigative style contrasts sharply with the superstitions and rigid dogma of the time. Soon, another monk dies, and then another. It becomes clear that the deaths are connected and deliberate. The Abbey and its library. At the center of the mystery lies the Abbey's greatest treasure, a massive, labyrinthine library, forbidden to all but the librarian and his assistant. The library is designed as a maze, filled with secret passages, coded rooms, and hidden knowledge. The monks believe that unrestricted access to books is dangerous. Knowledge, they argue, must be controlled to preserve religious authority and prevent heresy. William, however, believes that truth should be sought through inquiry and reason. Signs, symbols, and fear. As William investigates the deaths, he notices strange patterns, blackened fingers and tongues on the victims, cryptic references to the Book of Revelation, and clues tied to forbidden texts. Many monks believe the deaths are divine punishment or apocalyptic signs. William rejects these explanations, insisting that fear distorts truth. The novel emphasizes semiotics, the study of signs and interpretation. Eco repeatedly shows that meaning is not fixed and that misinterpretation can be deadly. Political and religious conflict. Parallel to the murders, a tense debate unfolds between church factions over poverty and power. Some monks argue that Christ owned nothing and that the church should renounce wealth. Others see this belief as dangerous heresy. The arrival of the Inquisition, led by the ruthless Bernardo Gué, escalates the tension. Gué relies on confession under torture and preconceived guilt rather than evidence. His presence highlights the danger of authority that prioritizes certainty over truth. The Forbidden Book. William eventually uncovers the truth behind the murders. They are all linked to a forbidden book hidden deep within the library, a lost volume of Aristotle's Poetics that discusses comedy and laughter. The blind librarian Jorge of Burgos believes laughter undermines fear, and fear is essential to maintaining religious control. To prevent the book from spreading, Jorge poisons its pages, knowing that anyone who reads it will die. The murders were not acts of divine will, but acts of censorship driven by fear of intellectual freedom. Fire and destruction. When William confronts Jorge, the situation spirals out of control. The library catches fire, and the flames consume centuries of accumulated knowledge. The abbey is destroyed, symbolizing the irreversible loss of wisdom caused by fanaticism and intolerance. William and Adso escape, but the truth comes too late to save the books, or the lives lost. Adso's reflection. Years later, Adso reflects on the events with sorrow and humility. He recognizes that absolute truth is elusive and that certainty can be as dangerous as ignorance. The novel's title, The Name of the Rose, reflects this ambiguity, suggesting that names, symbols, and meanings fade, while interpretation remains. Themes and meaning. The Name of the Rose explores profound themes. Reason versus blind faith. The danger of censorship. Knowledge as power. The fragility of truth. Interpretation and ambiguity. Fear as a tool of control. Eco challenges the idea of absolute certainty and warns against institutions that silence questioning. Literary significance. The novel is renowned for blending high philosophy with popular genre fiction. Despite its complexity, it became an international bestseller and introduced millions of readers to medieval thought and semiotics. It also influenced modern historical thrillers by proving that intellectually demanding literature could still achieve mass appeal. Conclusion. The Name of the Rose is a gripping intellectual mystery that asks timeless questions about truth, power, and freedom of thought. Through William of Baskerville, Umberto Eco argues that the pursuit of knowledge must be guided by humility, curiosity, and compassion, not fear. It is a novel that rewards careful listening and reflection, leaving readers with the unsettling realization that meaning is never absolute, and that the greatest danger lies in believing it is.